Good afternoon and welcome. Here is Premium 89.9 FM World News at noon. First, the headlines. IBM Air to expand its fleet to meet up with modern aviation demands. Federal government seeks more private sector participation in research development. From the foreign scene, volcano destroys several houses in Spain. And in sports, Victor Osimhen scores as Napoli go top in Italian Serie A. Details of these and other stories in a bit. I'm Raymond Eta with the details. Welcome back. We begin in the States where the chairman of the board of IBM Airlines, Mr. Mobasi Jacob, has said the airline will continue to add to its already impressive fleet to maintain its high standard of service delivery and meet up with modern-day aviation demands. In an exclusive chat with Premium 89.9 FM News yesterday, Mr. Jacob said the expansion is key to the vision of the project's progenitors to make IBM Air a leading airline not just in the country but outside its shores. He noted that while the cost of purchasing an airline and eventual maintenance is expensive, investing in more planes would further boost the company's culture of providing world-class services to its teaming customers and improve the airline's chances of longevity.
The number of aircraft we have 7 in our fleet today. We can't do all of those destinations with just 7 aircraft. Therefore, there is that compelling reason for us to increase our fleet size to meet the market demand.
Mr. Jacob further attributed the glowing success of the airline to the commitment of Governor Dom Emmanuel to revitalize the aviation sector in the state.
It's a product of a great vision, because without a vision, you cannot build. His Excellency came up with a great vision of connecting the state to markets. IBM is more than an airline. It's an economic engine of the state. Our state is highly interconnected. And roads are not just help people travel from one point to the other, but it's about the economy, linking the rural and the urban economy together, and even interstate economy. Governor thought it fit that yes, we have good road network, that we also have to have a connection by air.
Mr. Jacobs, who also doubles as the Deputy Director, Aquabum Investments Corporation, Archipoc, said IBM Air was a mere translation of Governor Emmanuel's industrialization mantra to place the state on the world map. He noted that the vision that birthed IBM Air wasn't just another airline venturing into an existing competition, but was relevant to the economic interconnectivity of the state. He implored residents of the state to key into the industrialization drive of the Dom Emmanuel-led administration, whom he noted means well for the state, urging residents to brace up for the impactful and purpose-driven programs by the governor that will open the state further and boost its economic fortunes. Residents of Abak and adjoining cities have lamented the high cost of food prices in the area. Some of those who spoke to Premium FM News expressed worry over the increasing difficulty of having to pay more for food. They pointed out that before now, one could have a plate of meal for about 250 naira, but presently with 400 or 500 naira, it was difficult to get food that would be satisfying.
With 150 naira, you can eat a full plate of gari and probably 2 meat. But since the economy is a bit harsh these days, 500 naira cannot give you a good plate of soup. So it's affecting everybody.
Rice was 16 naira and up to 18 naira. But now rice is almost 150. Likely equally beans also is 150. Things is higher. Things is going higher every day. And you can imagine that even a bag of cement today is almost 4,000.
It's too costly now. Like a plate of gari is about 400 naira a plate. When I want to eat an extra, the extra is about 200 or so.
A food vendor, while also decrying the states of rises in price of foodstuff, said she had only managed to stay in business for the fact that the food was a necessity and people just had to eat when the meals were slightly expensive. She, however, said she had to reduce the measure of food she sells and advanced reasons why.
Like this, we normally bought it in 100 naira a cup. It has announced 180 naira a cup. So that's the reason I give them small ones so that they'll be able to buy it.
Well, other respondents, however, submitted that if the government would invest more in agriculture by giving soft loans to encourage farmers, it would go a long way in boosting food production, thus bringing down food prices.
For a white-collar job, and there is nobody that wants to go in for agriculture. But I suppose the government is supposed to empower the youth, those ones that has no job, to go into agriculture for enable us to have much food.
Well, the advice I give the farmers or the government, they should try and need a little bit of empowerment for the farmers also. The food going to be okay.
So without government to look into the economy of the country and empower the farmers, there is nothing good will come up, and we will still experience hardship.
Moving on, State Governor Mr. Demi Manuel yesterday tasked organizations and spirited individuals in the state to identify with the vision of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative, FEREP, in reaching out to the less privileged in society. Governor Manuel gave the charge while leading top government officials to a Thanksgiving service at Inside Bible Church, Uyo, organized to commemorate the 6th anniversary of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative, FEREP, a pet program of the wife of the governor, Dr. Martha Udomi Manuel.
My dear wife, honestly, I didn't know she has so much strength until we came here. But I really also want to thank God for God's grace. We must also give back to the society. You see, if you give to the poor, you are lending to God, and God will repay you. Every quarter in this state, each local government, we pick 5 indigent, poor, widows, and empower quietly. Because we do for God, we don't announce it, and we don't even intend to announce it.
The governor's wife, Martha, who took the Bible reading from 1 Chronicles 16, verses 18 to 32, expressed appreciation to God in her songs, and her husband, and to all who have supported FEREP to touch lives.
Come this night to tell God thank you for how far you've led us. I think we will be an ingrate. When I was taking stock of what we've done in the past 6 years, it amazes me. It has not been without challenges. In every challenge you face, there is always a way of escape. God has blessed FEREP with so many supporters, making it very, very easy for us to carry out our task. The number one supporter, the number one pillar is my dear husband, Governor Udomi Manuel.
Well, in his exhortation, Reverend Okafia encouraged people to always show appreciation to God, as this will enable God to fight their battles. The Thanksgiving service had in attendance the state's Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Igbo, Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Honorable Onyeka Mbasi, Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Emmanuel Akuem, Head of Service, Elder Fiong Essien, Member representing Abak, Etemikbo, and Ika Federal Constituency, Honorable Onyeka Nomana, among other dignitaries. A hope has been given to yet another indigent widow in Tuikon Core of Etemikbo local government area of Akwa Ibom State, as wife of the state governor, Dr. Martha Udomi Manuel, doled out a 2-bedroom bungalow to her. The widow, Mrs. Isaac Dan, who became the latest beneficiary of a comfortable roof over her head, courtesy of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative, FEREP, a pet project of the wife of the governor. At the commissioning and presentation of key ceremony, the wife of the governor, who prayed for the beneficiary, pointed out that her pet project was poised to deliver hope to the vulnerable ones in society, particularly those who had no one to assist them. She also stated that in its continued efforts aimed at rendering selfless services to the people, her pet project had made available economic empowerment to the people of Etemikbo. She charged the women of the community to take advantage of the interest-free loans given by FEREP to ensure empowerment amongst women, noting that over 2,000 women have benefited already from the scheme, assuring that the next batch will commence in November.
As not to talk of Olivia or Mami, the Luton interference right from day one, our duty is to render selfless services to people, especially to those that do not have help from anybody. I don't want to stand here to recount what we have done, but I want to tell you that God has used Ferret to bless people in Akwa Ibom State. Let me announce to the women of Wetomefo, Ferret has a cooperative, free interest loan cooperative. We just finished second batch. We did first batch. Over 2,000 women has benefited. Office back came with 1,000. If I want for me, that loan, I will see my neighbor. More.
Senator representing Akwa Ibom South Senatorial District, Akoneyai, member representing Abak, Itamepo, and Ika Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Honorable Onyeka Onumana, the People's Democratic Party National Legal Advisor, Barrister Emmanuel Enoydem, and Commissioner for Science and Technology, Dr. Imam Moffat, in their separate goodwill messages, heralded Governor Emmanuel and wife on their selection process, describing the project as a legacy that will outlast the present administration. They also donated solar-powered lights, candle cracker, and separator, as well as cash to the beneficiaries. Responding, the beneficiary, Mrs. Happiness Dan, appreciated the governor and wife for giving her hope. The village head, Chief Osonyo, while appreciating Governor Emmanuel and wife Martha for their kind gesture, called on the government to acquire the massive fertile land in the community for planting of cocoa and repair the only access roads to boost economic activities in the village. About 50 women in the Temekwe local government area were empowered. Moving on, Acting Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, Justice Ekaito Obot, has been recommended by the National Judicial Council for appointment as substantive Chief Judge of the state. This was revealed in a release by the State Ministry of Information yesterday. The recommendations came just after the NJC released a nomination list of judicial officers to occupy various positions. The NJC's Director of Information, Soju Oye, said the appointment of officers were accepted by the Council after due consideration of the list by the Interview Committee during its 95th meeting held on September 15 and 16 respectively. Before her recommendation, Justice Obot had been acting Chief Judge of the state since the retirement of her predecessor, Justice Godwin Abraham. In no time, she will be sworn in as substantive Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom by Governor Demi Emmanuel, having received the recommendation. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has faulted calls from certain quarters for the resignation of CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele over issues relating to the exchange rate of the naira. Spokesman of the CBN, Osita Nwasinobi, said those behind such calls were only pursuing their selfish agenda, fueled by those who had long benefited from rent-seeking practices in the parallel forex market, which the CBN refused to recognize as a significant segment of the country's forex market. He said the CBN would not be distracted in its mandate by yielding to the selfish tendencies of a few to the detriment of the majority. He further assured that the CBN remains committed to meeting the foreign exchange requests of travelers with legitimate needs as they relate to travel allowances, payment of tuition and medical fees, among other invisibles. This is Premium 89.9 FM News reaching you from your preferred station. A quick reminder of the major stories. Ibom Air set to expand fleets to meet up modern aviation demands. The federal government seeking more private sector participation in research development. And still to come on the foreign scene, a volcano eruption has destroyed thousands of houses in Spain. Out in sports, Victor Osimhen scores as Napoli go top in Serie A. The news returns very shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news. On the foreign scene, a surge of lava has destroyed around hundreds of homes in Spain's Canary Islands after a volcano erupted, forcing 5,000 people to leave the area. The Cumbre Vieja erupted around 3 p.m. on Sunday, sending vast plumes of thick black smoke into the sky and belching molten lava that oozed down the mountainside on the island of La Palma. Images showed slowly moving lava creeping down the mountainside with pockets of flame erupting as it rumbled over closer towards a group of homes standing just meters away. Experts had been keeping a close watch on the volcano after observing a recent upsurge in seismic activity and magma displacement. And now in sports, Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen scored his first Serie A goal of the season for Napoli, who remain unbeaten following a 4-0 victory over Udinese yesterday. The forward, who was making his third league appearance for the Paternopi this season, tapped in Lorenzo Insigne's looping ball for his side's opener in the 24th minute. The strike took his tally to 11 goals in 27 Serie A appearances for the club since he joined last summer from French side FC Lille. The win sees Napoli leapfrog champions Inter, AC Milan and AS Roma to the top of the Serie A table after 4 games. Luciano Spalletta's side have 12 points from their opening 4 matches, 2 ahead of the Milan teams and 3 ahead of Roma. But they face Sampdoria on Thursday. And with that, we end the news, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. The chairman of the board of IBOM Airlines, Mr. Mobasi Jacob, has said the airline will continue to add to its already impressive fleet to maintain its high standard of service delivery and meet up with modern-day aviation demands. State Governor Mr. Domi Manuel has tasked organizations and spirited individuals in the state to identify with the vision of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative FEREP in reaching out to the less privileged in society. On the foreign scene, a surge of lava has destroyed 100 homes in Spain's Canary Islands a day after a volcanic eruption, forcing 5,000 people to leave the area. And in sports, Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen scored his first Serie A goal of the season for AS Napoli, who remain unbeaten following a 4-0 win over Udinese yesterday. And that's the news is edited by our editorial team. Remember, every citizen has a stake in security. Report suspicious movement or actions of persons to security agencies. You can contact us for coverage of a newsworthy event via our email, premium89.9fmnews@gmail.com. Or reach out to us on the newsroom hotline on 0912-002-1995. You can also follow us on the social media platforms. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Premium89.